Yo, good morning. Happy Saturday to everybody. Hope you guys betting wise had a better Friday night than I did. I mean, I didn't get absolutely killed. You went 3-5 on the ticket. Top bets went 1-1. So it wasn't completely terrible. It was just a couple of those games, man. I really thought, and by the way, yesterday when I said the Twins left a bunch of people on base, I wasn't implying that they should have won. What I meant was I watched the last 3-4 innings of that game, and I feel like I think they left a runner in scoring position in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. So every single inning, it was like, okay, this game's not over. We're still in it. And they blew it. That's what I meant by that. I wasn't, because someone in the comments was like saying that the Twins shouldn't have won that game. That's not what I meant. I just meant it was just a tough loss to take watching it. Anyway. We got 15 games to get through, and they are, I hate Saturdays because I don't really want to give out picks for the 4 or 5 games that are at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I mean, that's 12 hours from now. But definitely some value in the early game, so let's get started. First one's Padres at Yankees, and just like I said on YouTube last night, I like the Yanks. I like the Yanks first 5 run line at -15, I think. I'm also going to put Yankees money line in a parlay right after this show's over. I really like the Yankees to bounce back. Yankees haven't lost 4 home games in a row since 2021. I think the only reason we're getting it at such a decent price here is the way Michael Wacha's been pitching recently. Like I said on YouTube last night, his last 4 starts have been crazy, but he's had some relatively easy competition. On the road in Yankee Stadium is going to be his biggest test that he's seen in a month. I think the Yankees end Wacha's hot streak. And on the other side, by the way, an Anthony Rizzo, 21 of 53 off Wacha. So if you like to put player props down, maybe a same game parlay, I would include an Anthony Rizzo over total bases. Anthony Rizzo to record a hit somewhere in there. He's lifetime 21 of 53 off Wacha. So he's familiar with this guy's stuff, to say the least. On the other side, Luis Severino. I know it's only his second start of the season, but I mean, Padres bats really never have seen this guy, and the few that have, Xander Bogaerts just 3 of 29 lifetime off Severino. Padres lineup hasn't been reliable at all, so I think it's safe to assume that Severino pitches a good game. I know -145, -150, that price sucks, which is why I'll include it in a parlay. But betting wise on this game, I'm taking Yankees first 5 run line, -0.5 run.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much covered everything I have to say about this game. I trust Severino far more at home going back to last season. And I really think that as long as he limits the long ball, he's going to be fine here. Because all the Padres have been doing essentially over the last 4 days is just hitting a bunch of home runs. This team still can't score with runners in scoring position. So as long as he's limiting those long balls, then I think he's going to have a lot of success here today. Wacha is a bit overrated, I feel. Let's not pretend like he didn't start off the season in horrible shape against some better competition. And now lately he's facing some easier competition, and all of a sudden he looks like a god. So I think some regression is due his way. I like the unfamiliarity angle with Severino against the Padres. I mean, the Padres are struggling enough against righties right now. Now you're going to get a guy that they're not familiar with his stuff and his pitch mix. I think he can pitch well here. The line movement is what I really like here. That line continues to move. The price for the Yankees right now is -165 on FanDuel. So, yeah, I definitely like the Yanks here. I don't mind what Paul Mefford's saying, an under in this game. I'm sure there could be 2 winning picks in this game. But, yeah. It depends. You give me the Reds at home in a day game, and I'll take their over every time. They just love playing some day baseball.
What I just said, I was muted when I said that. So for some reason, I feel more comfortable betting unders during the afternoon games. I don't know if there's any numbers to back that up. And now some comments coming in. So the first with Hairston was on the Yanks and under. Paul Mefford on the under. Now we got a couple comments taking San Diego. I strongly disagree. Yeah, I fixed it. I know. I had myself muted for a second, but we're good. Next game. Oh, whoops. Let me switch back to Where the hell? There we go. So White Sox at Tigers is next. I like the Tigers here. I believe I said Tigers or pass last night on YouTube. I'm fully on the Tigers now. What was it? Minus 110?
It's minus 115 now. Consensus.
Good. Yeah, that's right. I actually saw it's up to like minus 118, minus 120 on some books too, which means some of the odds makers agree with me here. I like Lorenzen. He's been pitching well. You can't take that away from him. So Lorenzen has a 2.45 ERA and a WHIP below 1 in his 4 May starts. 2.45 ERA and a WHIP below 1. Dude is pitching well. You got that kid Schultens. I don't even know if he's a kid, actually. I don't know much about him, but he's making his first career start. White Sox are one of those teams that they are kind of like high profile, where whenever they string a good game or two together, the public flocks over to them. So they just lit the Tigers up yesterday. They scored like 11 or 12 runs, which means their price is going to be inflated the next day. Line still moves the other way. I'm taking the Tigers here. Straight up win the game. Tigers bullpen has been lights out too.
I mean, I truly couldn't be any more indifferent about this game. I don't care about it. I probably won't bet it. One thing I will say is I'll ride with Kyle on his pick just simply because of the fact that the Tigers have been treating us so well this season. I trust their bats far more against righties than I do the White Sox right now in their current state. I mean, I believe the White Sox over the last month are 30th in WRC plus against righties. So they are just not hitting righties at all right now. And Schultens, I watched his last start. Sure, he didn't give up that many hits or walks, but he was in pretty bad counts almost every single time throughout the lineup. So it's not like he had the best command of his pitches. And the Tigers have been doing a much better job at drawing walks lately. So draw a few walks, get a nice little bloop in there. And I think the Tigers can score a few runs here. On the other side is Lorenzen coming off a pretty disgusting start against the Royals. He definitely did not perform up to par. But one thing I will say about KC is at home, those bats tend to come alive. They're on the road. They're pretty terrible, but at home, they're pretty solid. And Lorenzen maybe this season has been better on the road. But if you look at his entire career, this is a guy who tends to deal at home. I think he should do the job here. And I trust the Tigers bullpen to back it up.
Same. Agreed. Next. Blue Jays at Twins. I'm going back to the Twins again. Line movement is definitely in our favor too. It's up to Twins. Twins money line is up to minus 115 now, which I like. Obviously, I don't like that we're getting up or paying. It's more expensive to bet the Twins, but the movement definitely gives me a little bit more confidence. Pablo Lopez has been great this season. I really think he can perform. I really think he can produce today against Toronto. Now, Toronto's offensive numbers, if you just look at like the last 14 days, which I always do, they look okay. But keep in mind, this team scored 11 runs in the 9th inning on the Rays outfielders. These numbers are skewed. Here's the kicker, and I said this on YouTube last night. Toronto has been held to 2 runs or less by 13 of the last 14 right-handed starters to face them. 2 runs or less, held there by 13 of the last 14 right-handed starters. I don't trust these bats at all, and I think Pablo Lopez really handles his shit today. And then on the other side, we got Chris Bassett on the road. In case you're unfamiliar with Chris Bassett, he's a fade on the road. His last road start was at Tampa. He got absolutely rocked. On the road, he allows a 352 WOBA, almost double what he allows at home, basically. I really, really struggle to bet Chris Bassett on the road. Coming off a 3-1 win last night, I expect Toronto to get beat up on today. Twins also have the slight bullpen edge. Definitely on Minnesota. You're muted.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers against the Twins aren't pretty. 35 at-bats. They're slugging at... No, actually, that's the wrong numbers. I was looking at Lopez. 45 at-bats, and they're slugging 489 off of him, so that's not great. Add in that 857 OPS. And not the best spot for Mr. Bassett. He had pitched 3 consecutive outings of 7+ innings, 0-run baseball, but then he headed to Tampa and got rocked for 7 hits, 6 runs, and 3 homers. I know Tampa's beasts at home, but there's also been some recent righties who have gone into Tampa and just flat out dealt. So I'm not going to just give him the excuse of that. Another thing I like is that when you're coming off of those games where you're throwing these scoreless innings all in a row, there tends to be a breakdown. And he broke down last game, and I kind of see that continuing here. I don't really understand how the hell the Twins are ranked so highly in WRC Plus against righties. I mean, I watched this team, and they fucking suck. But I'm willing to give them a chance here against Chris Bassett, who I think is definitely due for a lot of negative regression. Pablo Lopez has been really solid this year. I think he's taken the next step. And the Toronto bats really don't scare me right now. I need to, I guess, fix your stat because Varland allowed 3 runs last night. It's the last 13 of 15 righties to hold them to 2 or less runs. But I mean, 2 or less runs, guys. That's insane. They're getting 0 production out of their bats right now. Besides that 1 inning where they scored 3 runs last night, they got shut out the other 8 innings. I just don't think they're playing great baseball right now. I think the Twins underperformed with runners in scoring position quite badly yesterday. There were multiple times where they had 2 guys on against Gausman with just 1 out, and they wind up choking. I think that regression swings around today, and they pull off the win.
Yeah, and to respond to Paul Medford in the comments, I was actually considering an over in this one also. I ended up just rocking with the Twins. If I was indifferent about the Twins, I probably would bet the over here, but I actually really like the Twins, so I don't see any reason to force 2 bets on this game.
Didn't Gallo and Correa play yesterday? I feel like somebody said Correa and Gallo weren't going to play, and then Correa played, and then Gallo got subbed in. And now Mike's saying, are they going to play today? I mean, I feel like they're pretty regular members of the starting lineup. I mean, Gallo's batting leadoff in terms of what Fangraphs has him at.
Correa definitely played yesterday. And Correa sitting, Gallo's playing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely hurts, but I mean, has Correa been the best this season? Definitely
oh my
not.
God. 5 of the first 6 bats in Minnesota's lineups today are lefties.
Ooh, I like that
Bassett's
too.
Bassett's going to get fucking rocked. Anyway, next. Rangers at Orioles. Definitely on Baltimore. Just like I said last night. Baltimore money line, Baltimore team total, Baltimore first 5 money line. However you feel the most comfortable betting it. Andrew Heaney's numbers. No, wait, first of all, not only is he just a lefty, so even if we didn't have Andrew Heaney's career numbers against Baltimore, we should already be concerned because this is a lefty pitching at Camden Yards against this Orioles lineup that has crushed lefties for basically a full year now, second half of last year into this year. Now add on the fact that you have Andrew Heaney's career numbers against Baltimore, and if you didn't watch last night's YouTube video, check this out. Ready? So in the past 3 years, Andrew Heaney has pitched against the Orioles 3 times. He has a combined 7 innings pitched in all 3 games. 7 innings pitched. He's allowed 15 earned runs and 6 home runs in 7 innings pitched against Baltimore in his 3 outings. 15 earned runs and 6 home runs in 7 innings pitched. The Orioles own this guy. The current Baltimore lineup is lifetime 16 of 44 off Heaney with 6 homers. They're batting .364 with a 1255 OPS lifetime against Andrew Heaney. It's just like, how could you possibly back him in this spot? Look, I don't trust Dean Kramer, so if you also don't trust Dean Kramer, maybe go with the Baltimore team total over. But I think the Orioles might score 10 runs in this game, especially coming off an embarrassing loss yesterday. All over Baltimore here. Might bet them 3 different ways.
Yeah, I mean, we bet the Rangers yesterday because of the bad spot for Baltimore, but now that they've had a full day to settle, I expect this offense to wake up in dramatic fashion. Give me the Baltimore money line and give me the Baltimore team total over 4.5 at plus 100. They only mustered 2 runs yesterday, and normally at home, this is not a place I'm looking exactly to back the Orioles offense. They average 1.5 fewer runs per game at home. But as Kyle said, I mean, when you hear those numbers, I'm willing to make an exception. I think Heaney's a bit overrated coming off 2 great starts, but against 2. He went into Oakland. Oakland can't hit shit right now. You could be a lefty, you could be a righty, you could be ambidextrous. They cannot hit shit right now. So I'm not really impressed by that whatsoever. And then on top of it, he had a great outing against the Rockies at home. But guess what? The Rockies last year were lefty crushers. The Rockies this year are 30th in WRC Plus against lefties. So those 2 starts don't really I don't know, impressed me whatsoever. We've seen Heaney be very vulnerable against other teams that struggle against lefties, such as the Mariners. And this is a Baltimore team that excels against lefties. So I really think he's going to have a tough time here. In the 19 games where the Orioles have faced a lefty starter, they're 12-7 to the over, averaging 5.9 runs per game. And we've been talking all about Heaney, but let's talk about this goddamn bullpen. I mean, the Rangers bullpen over the last 30 days sits 30th in ERA and 27th in WOBA. And the high leverage arms for the Baltimore is going to be there. Both Cano and Bautista are well rested. I think that Kramer has been going deep into games lately. He just faced the Braves, the Angels. Let me go get the post. He faced the Braves, the Angels, and the Rays and the Jays. That's who he faced. That's 4 very stiff competition teams, and he just absolutely performed. He only had a 1.86 ERA through those 4 games. Now he's going to face the Rangers, who I said yesterday are a bit weaker on the road. I mean, they sure didn't look weaker yesterday, but on the season, they see about a 15 spot drop in terms of where they rank against righties. So I think Baltimore wins, and I think the Orioles crush Heaney and this bullpen.
Yeah, definitely. Next game. How many hats do I own? Oh, I skipped this one. That's why there's no pie charts. I don't know. I own a lot. There's no pie. I didn't put pie charts at the bottom of this one because I just skipped the game. Do you have a pick on this one, or can we just move to the next one?
No, get this game off my screen.
All right. Phillies at Atlanta. I actually skipped this one too. Let's see if I have notes to. So I said last night on YouTube that I was on Phillies, but I've actually backed off. So I'll say Phillies money line as a lean, but I'm not betting it. It's not even. I mean, if I gun to my head, I had to pick. I would pick the Phillies, but I'm not betting this. Basically, what I said last night was, you can't trust Zach Wheeler on the road except when he goes to play the Braves, because he actually has good numbers in his last 3 starts against Atlanta. He's got really good numbers. But overall, I don't like the line movement, and I don't like how the Braves lost last night. There's just there's like 4 or 5 games that I really like today. So I didn't want to force this one. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. This seems to be one of the more public / sharp plays of the day. I wanted to back the Phillies badly here, but fading reverse line movement against us, it's kind of moronic. It's not how I like to bet. The books are pretty much taking a large stance there, saying that the Braves win this game. I don't really get it. I feel like everything's working for Philly here, but whatever. Pass. All
right. Looks like some people like the Braves in the comments. Charlie Morton, he had like a 5.5 ERA or whatever against the Phillies last year. They got a lot of lefties in that lineup, and Charlie Morton has terrible numbers against lefties.
I'm just not a Charlie Morton guy. I think he stinks.
What do you know? Hairston's on Braves first 5 again. His go-to.
Makes sense.
Next game, Giants at Brewers. Another one where I gave a pick on YouTube and I kind of backed off it. I might end up throwing a few dollars on this, but it didn't make the ticket. I am on the Giants, and I think you can get it at plus 100, maybe even like, I think it might be minus 105. Actually, I know for a fact it's minus 104 because I just looked. So the best line you can get here is minus 104. But like I said, I don't know if I'm actually going to bet this. Judging by what we saw the Giants do to Freddie Peralta last night, I think it's safe to say that Corbin Burns might be in trouble. I don't think they're going to completely rock Corbin Burns. I mean, what are the chances they light someone up like that again? But still, Corbin Burns hasn't even been that reliable this season. Also, Giants were in the top 10 against right-handed pitching for the first month and a half of the season. So maybe like the first month, 4 to 5 weeks or so. So we know this Giants lineup is capable of doing damage against right-handed pitching. I think Corbin Burns might be in a bit of trouble. I think the Giants score a few runs on him. And on the other side, this is the main reason for the bet. On the other side is Logan Webb. And if you haven't been paying attention, this dude is absolutely dealing right now. Ready for this? In the month of May, Logan Webb has made 4 starts. He has a 1.30 ERA in those 4 starts. He's thrown 27 2/3 innings. He's almost averaging, not almost, he's basically averaging 7 innings a start. allowed just 4 runs total in those 4 starts. He's absolutely mowing teams down. The Brewers lineup sucks, as they proved to us last night when we bet them. I also like how the Giants were able... That game finished as a blowout, right? We turned it off. I'm assuming it finished 15-1. Yes, it finished as a blowout. That blowout allowed the Giants to rest their main bullpen arms too. Definitely would not bet the Brewers here. I'll take the Giants. And as I'm saying this, I kind of talked myself into it. I'll probably will throw a few dollars on it, but it's not one of my favorite bets.
Yeah, I'm passing a lot of games here, but I don't really care. Passing on this one. Corbin Burns' K line is at 7.5. He's hit that once this year. What is that about? He had 5 in his previous start against the Giants. Pretty sus. He has his earned run line at only 1.5, despite going over 7 to 10 games this year. Why is that? Very weird. His hits line, also very weird. His outs line, also very weird. I just don't want to bet this game. Everything that I'm looking at from a prop perspective leads me to believe that Corbin Burns goes out there and puts on a clinic today. And coming off a game where he allowed, 4 home runs, and with the Giants scoring 15 runs yesterday, I just think that I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling about the Giants today, and I'd rather pass. That's why we didn't place this on the ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you on that. By the way, we got a lot of people asking about strikeout props. If you don't follow Prop Beaver on Twitter, I don't know if he's going to have time to do it every day. I hope he does. But he does like a whole strikeout report where he gives you the trends for all, if there's 15 games, he does all 30 starters. I'm not a big strikeout prop guy, and I was even reading it, and I don't even give a shit about that. So it's interesting stuff. If you're into betting strikeout props, I would follow him on Twitter, and I'm not even trying to plug him. I don't give a shit if you follow him or not. I'm just telling you it's good information. Yeah, he's been doing it the last few days. I hope he sticks with it. It's a lot of work, though, so it's one of those things which, I hope he has the time to continue to do that every day.
Yeah, I'll make time. I'll just wake up fucking 30 minutes.
I just won't sleep.
I'm already not sleeping at this point. I don't even know how many hours of sleep I got last night. Basically, in terms of a K prop lean for this game, Logan Webb is an interesting spot. I know I just said I like the friggin' Giants, but the Brewers, but maybe this is just a low scoring affair and both guys deal. Logan Webb's gone over his K prop in 7 to 10 games thus far, which is a bit sus, I will say, but he has some pretty phenomenal history against the Brewers. I believe he had 9, 7, and 5 Ks in his last 3 starts against them. And the Brewers are striking out at a pretty heavy rate recently. If we're just looking at the last 4 games, JP France went into Milwaukee and struck out 8. Zach Eflin went into Milwaukee and struck out 8. Jack Flaherty went into Milwaukee and struck out 10. So they're striking out at a pretty high rate lately. If you want a low K prop there for this game, that would be the one I consider. Don't know if I'm going to ultimately play it. I feel like I have a few other angles on the board, mainly team totals today, but yeah.
All right, cool. I saw Hairston put Brewers in under. I could see the under, truly. There's a reason books open this total at 7 because they're probably thinking the same thing. I wouldn't bet the Brewers. What they did last night was sickening. Next game, Pirates at Mariners. So I didn't actually place this bet yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to. Seattle minus 1.5 at minus 105. Basic, very short reasoning here. Oh wait, did we skip a game? That's weird. All right, for some reason my notes are out of order. Whatever. So Seattle minus 1.5. The Mariners just aren't going to lose back-to-back games to the Pirates here. Not to mention, Luis Castillo has owned Pittsburgh in his career. If you rewind back to his days with the Reds, obviously they played the Pirates a lot, the division. I don't want to say rivals now because Toast got triggered when I called rivals, but they're in the same division. So he's pitched against Pittsburgh a lot. He's had a ton of success. I didn't write down the numbers, but Prop Beaver gave us the numbers. I put it on YouTube last night. In his 7 home starts against Pittsburgh, he's like 4-1 with a 2.03 ERA or something stupid. He's owned Pittsburgh, and it's not just because you might be thinking like, okay, well the Pittsburgh Pirates lineup is different now than it was 2 years ago. Yes, but he also has really good numbers against the current Pittsburgh lineup as well. I think I didn't write down, but I put it on YouTube last night. It was like 183 combined batting average against Castillo, the current Pittsburgh bat. So he should absolutely deal here. I'm not the biggest fan of the Seattle Mariners bats. I don't really trust them, but coming off a home loss to Pittsburgh with Roansy bitch ass Contreras on the mound, I shouldn't say that. I don't trust that dude at all. I don't care what his numbers say. I don't trust him at all. I'm taking Seattle -1.5, and if I'm laying the 1.5 with a home team, that means I really like it. You know what? This is probably a perfect candidate to do Mariners money line, Yankees money line parlay. I might end up doing that. So, yeah, Seattle I think wins comfortably.
Yeah, I do not like Roansy Contreras either. I think that he is due for some major regression. It's already started. I mean, in April, he was pretty phenomenal. Through 4 May starts, he's posting a 5.64 ERA, a 3.71 WOBA. His hard hit percentage is north of 45% with a 2 home run per 9. On top of that, he has a 0 K to BB percentage, so the command is evidently not there. It's pretty dreadful. You could point to the fact that he's been better on the road this season, but his 5.67 xFIP projects regression right around the corner. And while the Mariners aren't exactly righty killers, like we've said before, they're heating up. 12th in WRC plus against righties over the last 14 days, 4th over the last 7 days. I think the Mariners may struggle a bit against a slider. They're only sitting around 15th to 20th in ranks against that pitch from righties over the last 30 days. But against righty fastballs in May, they are cranking them. Top 5 in every category. I think they could snag a few off him. On the other side, we got Luis Castillo, who, as Kyle said, has dominated the Pirates in his time as a Cincinnati Red. And I especially want to look at the home starts because that's where Castillo's pitching at his best. Through 7 home starts against Pittsburgh, he's 4-1 with a 1.2 ERA, 0.88 WHIP, and 0.4 home runs per 9. That was at Great American Ballpark. And honestly, I would go ahead and say that the Pirates bats during his time as a Red were probably better than they are now, considering they traded half the team away. So definitely think he could be in a very nice spot here with Seattle, a much more pitcher-friendly environment. And as Kyle was saying, here's the numbers against the current Pittsburgh lineup. They have over 40 plus at-bats against them, just a 185 average and a 568 OPS. Pirates are just 27 the WRC plus against righties over the last 2 weeks, 29th over the last 30 days. And I think he should dominate in the spot, truly. Add in the Seattle bullpen, that's a top 3 unit over last month. That has their high leverage.
Bro, we're idiots. It is Vince Velasquez starting. I'm reading off the graphic that we made last night. Vince Velasquez is starting, not
what do you?
Not Contreras.
I thought it was. What, they just changed it?
No, I saw it this morning and I wrote it down in my notes, and I guess I just forgot when I started talking, but it is Vince Velasquez. I even wrote it down. I have it written right here. And I just started talking shit about Roansy Contreras for no reason. But yo, that even makes my point deeper because I don't trust Vince Velasquez at all. Dating back to his days with the Phillies, I don't trust this dude. So same thing. My bet is based on the Mariners bats coming off an embarrassing home loss, even though they did score some runs, but still. And then Castillo's success against the Pirates over the course of his career. So it doesn't change the thing for me. Like I've said before, we make the graphics the night before. So a lot of the times the stuff on the left, the pitchers can change. That's just my bad. I started talking without even looking at my notes.
Yeah, well, I mean, that changes things a little bit, to be quite frank. Not much for me. I think that Vince Velasquez has overperformed this season, prime negative regression candidate, and also he's coming off injury. We see some guys who start dealing through the first half of the year. They come off an injury, they come back, and all of a sudden they look like shit, or vice versa, where they look terrible, they get injured, they come back, and they look awesome. And I just really think that, yes, Mariners bats are suspect at best on the year, but like they're performing lately. There's really no doubt about it. I mean, who has hit Mitch Keller like they did last night? Nobody. I'll tell you that right now. Nobody has touched up Mitch Keller like that all season. So, I mean, adding the Pirates bullpen, I think, is far worse than the Mariners. It's at plus 100 to record the win. I got to take that every time.
Yeah, and I think heading into last night, the Mariners in the last 7 days were like 4th in Major League Baseball in OPS versus right-handed pitching. So
I'm sure after last night they'll be friggin' first.
Yeah, for real.
Like Keller.
So, I mean, we're talking last 7 days, last 14 days. So those numbers obviously are a bit volatile, but as a whole, I think there's enough evidence to point to maybe the Mariners bats are finally starting to show up.
Also, it's pretty beautiful that all the money's on the Pirates and that line continues to get bigger.
Yeah, I like that too. Sharps definitely like the Pirates. Dodgers at Rays. I don't know if they're giving away free money. I got this. I already put this bet down. I got this at over 7.5 at minus 114 on Barstool. What am I missing here? If you watched yesterday, I was on the over in Dodgers Rays. It cashed easily. Final score is like 12-2. Now they're going to give us at 7.5. I don't know if the reason for this line is just based on the names of the starting pitchers, but hold up a second. This Clayton Kershaw, yeah, he's got a 1.13 ERA at home. This is Clayton Kershaw on the road, where his ERA jumps up to a 4.32. Clayton Kershaw has been vulnerable on the road this season. Not to mention, he's not just on the road anywhere. He's in Tampa. They have the best record in Major League Baseball. They're first against righties and first against lefties. Clayton Kershaw has been hit up on the road. Tampa, the best lineup in baseball, arguably, or certainly the hottest. They should hit him. I mean, it's plain and simple. And then on the other side, you got Tyler Glasnow. Yeah, he's a beast. I like him a lot. He's fucking crazy, that guy. But, I mean, he hasn't been a member of the Rays rotation since June of 2021. We're talking 2 years ago. He had, back-to-back Tommy John surgeries? He had Tommy John and he had 2 major surgeries. He came back and pitched in 2 or 3 games at the very end of last season. But this dude, since June of 2021, has pitched 6 2/3 innings of Major League Baseball. 6 2/3 innings in the last 2 years. You're expecting him to just come off an injury, hop on the mound, and shut down the Dodgers? What are you, fucking crazy? Shut down the Dodgers coming off a loss? If this doesn't go over, then I will tip my hat to the books. You got me. You got me on the biggest trap of all time, but I don't see any reasons this doesn't fly over the total.
Yeah, I'm in the same ballpark. I think maybe the Dodgers were somewhat in a little bit of a flat spot yesterday, coming off a huge series against the Braves, who are in their own
possibly
in their own league. So maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses for them. Muncy was fucking whiffing away yesterday.
I know.
Buddy looked like a dirty ass cheek. He was terrible.
Would you call him? You were like, he's
Max Chunky?
No, you were like, he's a shitty version of
he's a fucking poor man's Kyle Schwarber. This dude's ass. No, I'm kidding. Max
That's
Muncy's
so
obviously
insulting.
A great player.
He's good
obviously
as hell.
A great player. He was pissing me off yesterday. That's all I'm gonna say. He had a lot of chances to get some runners in, and it was getting scary late in that game, bro. It was really getting
He did
scary.
take some ugly swings yesterday, for sure.
Yeah, he was hackadoodle dandying. Yeah, I more so than the over 7.5. I love the Rays first 5 team total over 2.5. I know everybody's in the comments saying it, which I mean, I guess it's a bit public, but I don't really care. Rays first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus 125. Fading Kershaw, yeah, it's a bit scary, but I mean, look at these angles and tell me how we pass this up. His road numbers are weak, a 1.62 home run per 9, a 4.79 FIP. That's very exploitable. His last 5 road starts, Kershaw's opponents are 4-1 to the first 5 over, 2.5, averaging 3.6 runs per game. And none of the teams that he faced on the road thus far even sniff how good this Rays team is against lefty. Do you want to know how good the Rays are against lefties? Well, the last 8 to face them through a combined 36 innings of work have an 11.3 ERA, a 4.3 home runs allowed per 9, and a 208 whip. That's some of the silliest shit I've ever heard. This team is cranking lefties into a different dimension, and during that 8-game span, the Rays were 7-1 to the first 5 over, averaging 5.6 runs per game. They had his outs line at 18.5 yesterday, Kershaw, and that got juiced down crazy. His earned run line went from 1.5 to 2.5. Seems money is coming in on fading Kershaw, and the books are immediately reacting to it. And if you're gonna give me plus 125, like we're getting today, to back Tampa against any lefty, I don't give a damn who it is, then I'm playing it.
To Mike. The over is at 8 on mostly all books now, but I just got 7.5 at Barstool, and this was like 20 minutes ago that I placed this bet. So you know what? While we're here, let me check right now. I'm pretty sure you could still get this at 7.5 on a couple. Yup, you could still get it at 7.5 at minus 115 on Barstool, 7.5 at minus 115 on BetMGM, 7.5 at minus 120 on PointsBet. So yeah, there's still a few books out there giving it at 7.5, and like I said, maybe this is the biggest trap ever, and I'm a fool. We'll find out later. Jess, it's not that you shouldn't side with the public. It's just something to take into consideration when everyone's betting one side if the line isn't moving. Because that means the odds makers or the sports books or whoever sets the number is completely comfortable playing against all that action. We bet with the public all the time. It's just something. It's a talking point. It's something to take into consideration. It's not the end all be all of anything.
Yeah, and the books models are just so more complicated than we could ever comprehend.
Yeah, I know.
We're just not as smart as them, no matter what we can do.
I know.
So
we just no. We don't have the resources. Someday.
Yeah, I mean, true.
All right, next. Washington at Kansas City. This is another one where it's like, am I being punked? I don't get this. I don't get it. Like, why would you give us this line? It actually moved the wrong way. This is, and I did bet this, by the way. I got it at plus 100. I think on Barstool. I got this one on Barstool also. Why are you giving us this number? It's so square. It seems so easy. Look at the public all over Washington, and it moves the wrong way. If you're trying to go sharp here, I would take the Royals. If you're just trying to play the sharp angle, I just don't get it. Josiah Gray pitching against Kansas City. Where do the Royals have the advantage here? So the Washington has a huge starting pitching advantage. I mean, they have their ace on the mound versus Brady Singer. Not to mention, Josiah Gray happens to have a lot of success on the road. He's a good road pitcher. So starting pitching advantage, definitely Washington. Hitting advantage, definitely Washington, especially on the road. The Nats have been scoring runs on the road all year. I mean, what am I missing? I mean, Washington's 13-12 in their last 25 games. They're playing above 500 baseball. Kansas City's one of the worst teams in the MLB. I don't get it. If you want to be a sharp son of a bitch, play the Royals. I'll take this one on the chin. I can't not play this.
Oh, God. I feel like today's the day of just like reeky lines. Just lines that reek of
Two in a row.
bullshit.
The total in the Dodgers-Rays game and this one doesn't make sense. Are they giving us free money? I
also think that Zach Wheeler as a dog is insane. That's nuts.
On the road, though.
It doesn't matter. That's
no, that one, no. I call bullshit on that one because that's Zach Wheeler on the road. It's against Atlanta, one of the best teams in the NL. That one's not sus. These two are.
Yeah. All right, boss. Yeah, no, I don't really like this game either. Just everything's so weird about it. I'm past McStevens today. You guys can hate on me today. I'm being a puss pop. I get it. But, like, I just don't love this slate today. I really think it's a dog shit slate. So what am I just going to tell you guys to bet shit that I don't like? I'm not a fugazi, so.
I'm not a fugazi. All right, next game. I want to skip right past Boston, Arizona. I didn't even do the pie charts.
Oh, if anything, I'd probably bet the D-backs here.
We're not.
I'm a sick bastard. Yep, I would bet the D-backs. Davies
Hold on,
is a bit of a weirdo.
We froze. And we're back. What you've missed in that 4 seconds was Proppy were trying to take Arizona and me shutting him down, saying that's not an option. Next game.
Garrett Shitlock sucks on the road. 6 road starts. He's got a 6.65 ERA, a 4.08 WOBA, but the guy's allowing 2.3 home runs per 9 with a 1.65 whip. He freaking stinks. And let's not act like the Diamondbacks bats aren't still hot. I mean, over the last 2 weeks, they've been phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, Diamondbacks bats? You want to talk about them?
They ran into a freight train that is Chris Sale yesterday. I mean, we doubted Chris Sale. I mean, there's no reason to anymore. This guy's absolutely dealing out of his mind. And yeah, really what I think it is that Brandon Pfaadt just sucks. I think you're being a bit too emotional about last night and not taking into account that Boston's playing some really terrible baseball over the last 2 weeks and Diamondbacks are playing really great baseball over the last 2 weeks. And we're getting ours at a plus price. I mean, I think the starting pitching is a wash. I think the bats advantage goes to the Diamondbacks. And I also think as of late, the bullpen advantage goes to the Diamondbacks. So at the plus price, I would definitely take the Diamondbacks.
Actually, it looks like the comments. I went back to the Boston graphic. I didn't think anyone was down. Hairston's on the Red Sox. Tevin Gamble on the Red Sox. So yeah, a couple people on the Red Sox, and you like Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm not betting that shit.
I'm a Lone Ranger.
Next game. Reds at Cubs. This is 2 passes in a row for me here, guys. I feel like I just don't know enough about Brandon Williamson to really give out a bet. And Jameson Tyone, like, flip a coin, man. I guess he sucks. I kind of liked him a little last year. I don't know. Just like the Reds.
I would lean the Reds here, and I would also lean the over here, just because of the pure fact that, yeah, Williamson's a lefty, but he has pitched pretty well thus far. And Tyone, oh my God, Tyone, dude, you got to get it together. I don't think he's had a single good outing this season. I'm pretty sure every time he's going out there, he's just got absolutely cranked into a different century. And what shocked me when I was looking at the stats is that if you look over the last month, the Reds are 3rd in WRC plus against righties on the road. 3rd. That is shocking to me, considering normally the Reds are on the road are a big fade. I mean, they hit a lefty yesterday, but even the righties, they're playing very, very well against right now, and you got to give them their respect. The Cubs bats, I will say, though, I have to concede this. They're smashing left-handed pitching. The last 3 lefties to face them, including the elite Framber Valdez, all got cranked into a different century. So I think there's going to be some runs through the first 5, even with that wind coming in. And then when it comes to the bullpens, I just think that the Cubs bullpen is so bad right now. And the Reds is actually performing at a pretty decent level. They didn't have to use any of their high leverage arms yesterday. That at the plus price, if you're trying to play from a pure value perspective, I think the Reds are the move, and I think the over is the move. I'd be a little more cautious about that over just due to the history of unders cashing with winds blowing in at Chicago. But I mean, if this was a sunny day, this total would be at 12.5. So maybe 8.5 isn't too bad.
To answer Jess's question, she asked, don't the Reds games usually go over? That's mostly referring to their home games at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Is an over park. Just a lot of runs get scored there.
Adam Wainwright was calling Great American Ballpark the devil. It's like, no, buddy, you're just ass cheeks. You're 41. You should have packed it up a year ago and stop making excuses.
Hey, Brighton Perry, thanks, dog. Down 26 pounds in the last like 4 or 5 months. I'm on the slow plan. You see that I try these crazy diets where it's like, ooh, I lost 11 pounds in a week, and then I just fuck up. So I've been aiming for like 1 or 2 pounds a week for a while. I'm on the slow plan.
Kyle's been doing a lot of beach body workouts while we work. It's very distracting.
Would be distracting for you. Cleveland at St. Louis at Cleveland. I'm going back to it. I know they bit us in the ass last night. And I don't know why I'm almost not nervous about it, and I feel like I should be. The question, hold on, I was just looking at what the line is. Looks like it's at minus 105. So I'll put that up. I think I got this at plus 100. I'm pretty sure on Barstool too. I placed a lot of bets on Barstool today. So basically, this game for me or for anyone just comes down to one simple question: do you think the Cardinals bats are still hot? It's up in the air. Last 14 days, they're still second versus right-handed pitching, but if you isolate it to the last 7 days, they drop back to 24th. I gave them the benefit of the doubt yesterday. I was like, yo, they sat Goldschmidt and Arenado that one day, so it was really only one bad game. Now we're looking at 3 in a row. One of them they sat Goldschmidt and Arenado. So basically 2 bad offensive games. Is that enough for us to officially declare the Cardinals' hot hitting streak is over? I'm willing to give them another chance because those bats were so hot as recent as 5 days ago. So it's not like we're talking about last month. They were just hot. And if you believe the Cards bats are still hot, then this should be a layup. I mean, yeah, maybe Jack Flaherty and Tyler Beebe is a wash starting pitching wise, but bats, I mean, we're talking about the Cleveland Guardians here. It's been one of the worst lineups in baseball this whole season. Team doesn't score runs. Even last night when they won 4-3. They scored all 4 of those runs in 1 inning. Outside of the 5th inning last night, Cleveland had 3 hits total in the game. This lineup is not good. This Cleveland Guardians lineup is not good. So if you think there's still life in the Cardinals lineup, this should be a layup. Maybe there's not still life in the lineup, but if you still think they are, which I'm giving them one more chance, this should cash.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the comments. Michael Buena, I completely agree. This card is terrible. And also Govey, yeah. Nolan Gorman, what the hell, dude? About 55 chances to drive in a run yesterday.
You were in the bathroom. He got up 4-3 with a runner on second and 2 outs in the ninth. He was the guy that lost it. He was taking ugly ass swings, and then he looked at strike 3 to lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's tragic. Here, I've been passing on a lot of games because of weird line stuff, but I actually like the Cardinals because of that exact reason. It seems like sharps are pretty heavy on the Guardians today. A lot of the money is coming on Cleveland, and the lines only moved down. So something's up there. I really just don't think that the Cardinals have to do much offensively to win this game either. I think Bibee is pretty good. He's shown nothing to this point to make me doubt him. And Flaherty's shown a lot to this point to make me doubt him. So that's why the Guardians are going over, getting a lot of that money. And I completely agree with it. But I just think when it really comes down to it, the Guardians can't hit jack shit. Sure, they scored off Liberatore yesterday, but I think what do you have? 2 walks in that inning, and then just a couple singles. It's just, I don't know. I just really don't trust the Guardians right now. I think they're honestly one of the worst teams in baseball. If I'm just putting my hat out there, I do. I know what that bullpen they shouldn't be. I know what that pitching staff they shouldn't be. But I do. I mean, at the current state that they're in, this is one of the worst teams in baseball. And I just trust the Cardinals far more at this point. The books are taking a stance on it. And even the high leverage arms in that Guardians bullpen that have been cornerstones to their success over the last 2 or 3 years, they're just starting to crumble right now. So it's just really hard to trust the Guardians. I know they won this first game, but remember that White Sox series? They won the first game. We bet the White Sox. We lost, but then we bet the White Sox the next 2 games and we cashed. I'm going to do the same thing here today. I'm rolling with St. Louis.
And, Dodd in the comments. Yeah, that strike 3 was borderline. I thought it looked high. I don't know if I always trust those graphics they put on the screen, but according to the graphic, it did miss. But still, 2 strikes in the game on the line. At least take a swing. Foul it off. And also, he had an ugly swing earlier in that bat, too. In that at bat, too. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, I said on YouTube that I would have a pick for this game. I looked this morning and I really don't. I would say Mets -1.5 or pass. This game doesn't start for 10, 11 hours. That's why I hate. That's why that's the downside of Saturday's MLB. I'm not ready to bet this game yet. We have 2 rounds a game before we even get here. It's like giving out. It's like on college football Saturdays, and you need to give out Pac-12 bets at 9:30 in the morning. Like, yo, those games start at midnight. Like, let's talk in 12 hours about that. I'm leaning Mets -1.5, but I don't know yet. If I end up betting it, I'll screenshot the bet slip and put it on Twitter. So I'm sure all of you probably already follow me on Twitter, but if you don't and you're interested in that, I'll put something up later. You're muted, I think.
Yeah, I'm just not betting this game. I'm just not. Nope.
Okay, pass McStevens.
Dude, I feel like such a bitch today, but like that's just not how I roll. I don't fake shit, so I'm not gonna fake like I like a bet if I don't like it. And the Mets, yeah, they should win this game, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Rockies bats are still pretty good against righties. I know Verlander has some excellent history against this lineup. Chase Anderson has some bad history against the Mets lineup, but I was looking at some Chase Anderson starts against the Mets, and this guy always pitches like 5 or 6 innings of like 1 or 2 run baseball. And while Verlander's been great lately, the 2 games that he dealt in, he didn't really face the best competition. When he did face good competition, the Rays, he got lit up. And the Rockies right now consider good competition. They're hitting righties well over the last month. They're at Coors, tough spot for any pitcher to pitch. I don't know. I think the last time he pitched at Coors was over 5 years ago. And I just don't know if, I don't know. I don't know. So pass.
All right. Last game. I couldn't get there. I'm passing because I want to bet the Marlins. I'm going to say Marlins are pass, but we're talking about Shohei at home. I get why fading that is probably stupid. It seems like every single time Ohtani pitches, I didn't even do a pie chart for this game because I like the Marlins and it just seems crazy. So Marlins are pass, probably not going to bet it. But again, this game doesn't start till 10 p.m. So this is another one. Maybe I'll tweet it out later.
Pete, I don't mind your idea there. Combo the Mets and the under paid nicely last night. I mean, if you do want to back the Mets, I really think that's the best way to do so because obviously, if you're backing the Mets, you think Verlander's going to have a great start. Anderson, while a bit lucky to this point, has been pretty good. I mean, he's only allowed, I think, 1 run. Or I can't see what the screen was before, but I don't even know if he has allowed a run. Dude's just been pretty good thus far. And yeah, that's a really good idea. That's smart. What game we're on the Miami Marlins game. I wanted to take the over here, but all of a sudden I go ahead and I check the friggin' game logs for right-handed pitchers against the Angels, and the Angels can't hit shit right now. This is tough because if I had to like go ahead and try and make an audible, it'd be Edward Cabrera. He's facing the Angels. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of 7 righties to face the Angels have gone over their K-prop total. And not only that, but like Tanner Houck just had 8 against them. Lopez had 9. Joe Ryan had 9. Tyler Wells had 7. But the issue that comes into play for me is the fact that Edward Cabrera just can't stop walking dudes on the road. And on top of that, with his K-prop, he's 5-1 to the under this year. Been much more effective at home with the K stuff. So I don't know. This is a pass. Maybe I'll check the ballparkpal.com projection, see where he's listed at in terms of the Ks, and then make a move based on that. But I don't know. Probably rest of the slate, I'll be looking at some props and try and post some stuff on Twitter. I got 2 ones I love already on there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm rocking with today. Sorry for a disappointing, I guess, episode, guys. But I mean, what are we supposed to do when this slate stinks like duty?
Community parlay. Let's hear it. Throw your legs in. Soler home run pop. No, I'm not putting that in there.
Soler has been cranking.
He has been, yeah. Off Otani, though. Oh, wait, doesn't he hit right-handed pitching well, though, Soler?
No, I think
he it's lefties. The one... He hit lefties.
I was going to say, yeah. I think he's the one that hits lefties really well.
He is. Yeah. Waiting on some parlay legs here. Reds money line.
Just put it on there. Just put it on there.
We'll put it on.
Just put it on there. I actually think it doesn't have the worst chance of hitting, too.
Baltimore, Texas, over 10.
Okay, I like that.
That's cool.
I don't know if all books have Blue Jays most hits, but that's a decent little bet.
Blue Jays money line.
And, well, I don't know if we could do the O's money line and the
No, because we already did that. Tigers money. Let's do Tigers money line. That should be a good payout. With the, you have the book open?
Yeah, totally have the book open.
You don't have shit open.
You don't have shit. If you don't have honor, you don't have family. And if you don't have family,
I'm rocking at about 3 hours sleep.
Where's the okay? So Reds money line. Where's this alt? Over.
Blue Jays Tigers.
Okay. Was there a typo on that over for the Texas game? Because the over's at 9. Total's at 9.
Put it at 9.
Okay. Reds money line. Ball stage. Where's this Blue Jays game, bro?
Twins.
There we go. Okay, I mean, my Christ, that's a plus 1726.
Well, the fucking Reds money line is in it.
This is the type of parlay that'll change your life.
I don't know about that.
Nah, it could be.
This is the kind of parlay that'll pay your electric bill. I don't know about change your life. Plus 1726.
This will net you some Arthur Treacher's money, some Long John Silver's BOGO money.
All right, there's the community parlay. Reds money line, thanks to Jess. Orioles, Rangers over 9. Blue Jays money line, Tigers money line, plus 1726. Everyone enjoy your Saturday and it's Memorial Day weekend. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. All that. I am working today and tonight, so I will have a video up. Tomorrow afternoon, I have a Memorial Day party, so there won't be anything on Sunday night. But there'll be a video tonight and a live show tomorrow morning. I'll be around, but then once tomorrow afternoon hits, I'll be out of commission for the night, and then I'll be back doing something on Memorial Day Monday. I don't know yet. So, thanks. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you all for watching. Very much appreciative. Julius, appreciate the praise, man.
Have a good one.